Their latest album, and I looked at the album cover and I was like, who the fuck's this guy? That's not Roger Taylor! And that was Sterling Campbell. He was a full-fledged member of Duran Duran for a while. But this guy's unbelievable. His bass player, Bowie's bass player, Galen Dorsey, plays on this album. Bowie's guitarist, Jerry Leonard, plays on the album. Instrumentalist Mark Plati, who produced the Earthling album, plays on this album. Bowie's backing vocalist Holly Palmer sings on this album. Oh, how could I forget? An original Spider from Mars, the pianist from Ziggy Stardust, plays on this album. It has so much Goblin King magic that the only person who could fuck this album up is the only guy who didn't play with David Bowie. I'm really trying not to fuck this up. There's other great guest musicians, amazing guest musicians on the album as well. Ray Toro of My Chemical Romance plays on the album. And a singer of one of my favorite steampunk bands, The Cog is Dead. It is shaping up to be pretty amazing. Now, I'm not that kind of musician who comes out and plays all of his new material and you're sitting there looking at it and I'm like, I don't know any of these songs. I played you one, the villain song at the very top. I'm only going to play you one more from this album, from Black Labyrinth, the upcoming Black Labyrinth. And the reason I chose this one is because this is the labyrinthiest of all of the songs on Black Labyrinth. And when I play it, you'll see what I mean. This is called Oubliette. More steps to a pirouette neath the statuette. What's that sound coming from the ground? Someone is turning all of the tiles around. Danger is around the bend. If you could only see it, how will we make it to the end? Watch your step, or you'll end up in an oubliette. One wrong move, and it's down, down, down. Pray the map isn't upside down, or you'll be stuck in the underground, in a cage from which there's no way out. Find the guards hiding behind cards. Ignore the one on the right, 'cause he always lies. Knock on doors, that's what the knocker's for. Take my sage advice, better mind the floor. Freedom is around the bend. If you could only see it, how will you make it to the end? Find a map now and watch your step. You'll end up in an oubliette. One wrong move and it's down, down, down. Pray the map, it just fell into an oubliette. Pray the map isn't upside down, or you'll be stuck in the underground, in a cage from which there's no way out. And all these skeletons you see, each had a dream, now crumbling at your feet. The maze is changing all around you all the time. How will you make it out alive? Watched my step Yet here I am in this Oubliette. One wrong move and it was down, down, down. I guess the damn thing was upside down, 'cause now I'm stuck in the underground, in a cage from which there's no way out. Get me, get me, get me out of here. Sean, thank you for being here, Sean. I recognize Sean because Sean is a patron on Patreon. So Sean has an interesting, anybody else here from Patreon? Good, thank you. What's your name on Patreon? Oh, wait, what? Wool Buggerer? Ghoul Buggerer. If there are ghouls in the audience tonight, I would warn you that there is a Ghoul Buggerer in the audience. So, Sean, are you at Keys to the Goblin City? You are. Okay, so there's a tier. I ain't gonna lie, it's expensive as fuck. But the people, it's not really, you're very kind. The people in that tier literally get every single recording as each new track is added. So Sean has heard the entire album when it was me on guitar, and then when it was me on guitar and Sterling playing drums, and then with Gail playing bass, and then with Jerry Leonard playing guitar, and then with Mike Garson playing piano, and like literally 16 songs every week. You must hate the album by now. I'm guessing you're like, this shit's so old. Well, thank you. Thank you for being there, and thank you for coming here tonight. So, if you go to the Patreon, there's a whole lot of the Black Labyrinth posted there. Or if you prefer on YouTube, I've already posted 5 of the songs. So just look for Black Labyrinth on YouTube. And now, without further ado, speaking of the YouTubes, I did something recently that is so fucking basic and so obvious, and it never occurred to me to do it because I'm not smart. I looked up what were my most popular songs, and one of my top 5 most popular songs is a song that I absolutely never do live. And I thought, we need to fix that. So this is apparently one of my most popular songs on the YouTube. I've been married a long time ago. That's not it. It goes like this. Gather weary travelers, I have a tale to tell. It might just save your lives, but only if you listen well. 'Cause there before the breakers and just around the way, there's a sign that says beware, the beast of Pirates Bay. Say he's a guppy, the kid threw in the sea. He ate so many sailors, now he's bigger than a tree. His teeth are sharp as scissors, his claws they are like knives. And if you aren't careful, you'll end up in his insides. Oh, don't you sail and don't you row, and certainly don't you swim. 'Cause if you aren't careful, you'll end up inside of him. He'll eat you up, he'll spit you out, you better stay away. Heed the sign that says beware the beast of Pirates Bay. Some say he's a serpent that came straight from hell to eat the souls of pirates and other ne'er-do-wells. Some they don't believe it, as for me I've got a hunch. 'Cause there used to be some pirates here, but he ate them all for lunch. Oh, don't you sail and don't you row, and certainly don't you swim. 'Cause if you aren't careful, you'll end up inside of him. He'll eat you up, he'll spit you out, you better stay away. Heed the sign that says beware the beast of Pirates Bay. Blackbeard the pirate, you know for what he's feared. It's mostly for the dark imposing color of his beard. He saw the beast and now nobody's scared of him because his beard turned white and all agree he looks like Santa Claus. Oh, don't you sail and don't you row, and certainly don't you swim. 'Cause if you aren't careful, you'll end up inside of him. he'll eat you up, he'll spit you out, you better stay away. Heed the sign that says beware the beast of Pirates Bay. Well, Captain Hook, you've heard of him, he came to Pirates Bay. Seems his little nemesis had nearly got away. He reached into the water to grab at Peter Pan. There was a crunch and a scream, and now that scurvy captain's got hooks on both his hands. Oh, don't you sail and don't you row, and certainly don't you swim, cause if you aren't careful you'll end up inside of him. He'll eat you up, he'll spit you out, you better stay away. Heed the sign that says beware the beast of Pirates Bay. Well, now the tavern's empty, and it's only you and me. And if you care, I'd like to share how this song came to be. So come a little closer if you really want to know. This very sad and woeful tale happened so long ago. I was just a little boy when I came to Pirates Bay, and there I saw a creature that was very much dismayed, with a harpoon in his dorsal fin and a hook stuck in his side. This mighty whale was in such pain, we both began to cry. I pushed and I shoved, but he wouldn't give way into the deeper waters of our shallow Pirates Bay. All I could do to help him was to keep people away. So I wrote a sign that said, beware the beast of Pirates Bay. And what did it say? Don't you sail and don't you row, and certainly don't you swim, cause if you aren't careful you'll end up inside of him. He'll eat you up, he'll spit you out, you better stay away. Heed the sign that says beware. Hell, I should know I put it there. Heed the sign that says beware the beast of Pirates Bay. I'm losing weight up here, which is not why I came to Seattle, but I'm thrilled. I don't get to sing like this at the gym. You know, if we could combine the two things. Oh shit, we just did that, didn't we? I'm working out, I'm sweating my ass off, I'm singing, and I'm having fun with my friends. The gym should be like this. And Beast of Pirates Bay, first time I played that in probably a decade. Thank you for listening. So, as you may or may not have figured out, you know, I haven't played shows in the better part of a year. No one has. And I'm not a rehearser. I've always, I used to rehearse at the beginning of my career. I used to rent a rehearsal space and go there and rehearse with the band or by myself. And I eventually made a career of this, and I played so often that I never had to rehearse, and I would always say that each show was the rehearsal for the next show. And there was no, you know, like really the longest I would be off from one show to another would be like 2 weeks instead of one. So the pandemic happened, and I didn't play for the better part of a year, and I booked this show. This is the very first show of coming back on the road. I am not going to lie. I was not sure I could do this at all. Thank you. We're not done yet, so there's still time to fuck up. I also like, I'm not gonna say I quit drinking, but I cut down because I just wasn't doing shows and I wasn't on stage like guzzling an entire bottle of rum every night. So like my tolerance went way down to the point where I was like, I really can't drink at shows anymore because if I do, I will fall over dead in the middle of the show. Like, do you guys remember when I would drink an entire bottle of rum in 1 hour? I am so glad no one has yelled like the drink. I should do the drinking game, because if I did the infamous drinking game, they would pull me out of. Shut the fuck up, William. They'd pull me out of here on a stretcher. So anyway. But, so, the point of this long-winded story is that I was so scared of this show that we're doing right now. I was so scared of this show that I wouldn't sing well, I wouldn't remember the lyrics, I wouldn't remember how to entertain. Literally, I wouldn't remember how to entertain, especially, and this is important, especially without the use of alcohol. I was like, I don't know if I'm entertaining sober. So, I could always get naked. That is... Oh... The shit people think they want to see. It would be like, okay, never mind. Whoa, whoa. Dudes have cellulite? Come on. Put that, you know, it's like that. It's like, I'm 54, I look fabulous for 80. The point, folks, the point that I'm trying to get to is that before this show, for the first time in 20 years, I booked rehearsal space in New York City, and I like rehearsed like several times a week so that I wouldn't come here and fuck this all up. And you're sitting there going, I don't get it, it still sucked. But here's the point that I'm trying to get to. I knew I was gonna sing Beast of Pirates Bay for the first time in like 10 years. I started playing it, and when I got to the part where the truth is revealed of the song, sitting alone, well, standing alone, I guess, in a rehearsal studio, I began to openly cry. Because I had forgotten, it's been so long, I had forgotten why I wrote that song, what that song meant, and like all the emotions came flooding back, and I just started sobbing, and I thought, oh my God, I had forgotten that I wrote that song because I am that whale. And that's not a fat joke. I am that whale. I might be a manatee at worst. But seriously, like, I'm that wounded creature. And in the goth, whether you identify as goth or emo or metal or dark or whatever, so many of us come to this scene because we saw how fucked up humanity was at a very, very early age. And that's what, like, ironically, that's what lured us to the dark. And I wrote that song about that phenomenon. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you.
We love
you! So let's just go further down that rabbit hole, shall we? I wrote this song well into my 40s, but I wrote it for 17-year-old me. True story. Pushing down on you, and all the venom in their words. What could you do? What kind of ignorance causes them to be so sick and violent, evil? It did nothing to them. It's just not fair. It's not your fault, you're innocent. It's the world that's wrong, you're innocent. When they scream and when they yell and tear you down, they make your life a living hell. When they come around, there's nothing you can say doesn't contradict them, 'cause all they want's a victim on which to vent their rage. thought you're innocent. It's the world that's wrong. You're innocent. Just hold on. Someday the world will belong to the innocent. Oh, oh, Funny story about that song. One of the musicians who recorded on that song, a very, very good friend of mine, and someone you know by name, but I'm not going to tell you who it was. When I first sent him the song for him to record on it, he was like, I really like this song, but there's one thing that's like kind of like a little bit weird to me. I said, okay, what is it? He's like, normally I don't have any problems with your lyrics, but there's like this one lyrical thing that's kind of confusing me. I said, yeah, what is it? He said, well, the part where you say, like, so let's wear black, let's blast The Cure and Susie, and then we'll go see the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and then we'll forget to go home. He said, are you, no, the thing was that when he heard it, he goes, are you making fun of goths? And I was like, oh God, no, that's Vampire Club. I said, no, it may sound weird or corny, but I am 1,000% sincere. When I was 17 and I was being mercilessly bullied at school and being called words I'm not going to use here today and being chased home and like held down by groups of boys who took turns spitting in my mouth and that kind of level of bullying, I was on the verge of taking my life. And this is not hyperbole. I had already decided that I would take my life because I thought I clearly don't belong here. Nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. They tell me on a daily basis I'm worthless, I'm a weirdo, I'm a freak, I'm a fag, I'm this, that, and the other thing, and like I should kill myself. No one likes you, you should kill yourself. Do this town a favor, kill yourself. Do your own family a favor and kill yourself. And I heard this all day, every day. And by the time I was 17, I had come to a point where I thought, they're all right. Because I had never met anyone from outside of my town. So I didn't know there were other people like me, whatever that might be. I just knew that I wasn't like everyone else in that town. And then long story short, one night, I was sitting in the diner, because that's what you do in New Jersey, for fun. I was sitting in the diner at 2 in the morning, and this group of people walked in. And now you gotta understand something. At 17 years old, I didn't look anywhere near as weird as I do now, but I apparently was too weird for that town. So when I walked into the diner, like I got hit with garbage and people threw food at me and called me freak. And I just went to a table in the back and I opened up my sketchbook and drew because that's what I would do. I would just sit in the corner and draw. And at 2 in the morning, this group of people walked in, and holy shit, I was like, what, did an alien spacecraft land? Did the circus roll into town? There was a guy who was like 7 feet tall. He was wearing nothing but women's lingerie and huge black shoes. There was this guy with like long stringy hair and a shitty looking tuxedo. There was like all these weird looking people, and they walked in to the same fucking diner that I walked the gauntlet through, being abused and having stuff thrown at me. But they walked in with pride and confidence and were basically like, we have arrived. They were like, we are the weirdos and you wish you were us. And And they sat at a table, and now here's where things get really interesting. They looked over at me, and one of them got up, well, the one who was dressed in women's lingerie to be exact, got up and came over to my table and said, "You look like you could use some friends." Hello. Said, "You look like you could use some friends. Would you sit with us?" And I said, "Sure." And I got up and I went to their table, like, would this happen today? In this world of like, you can't goth with us. Would this happen today? They came up and they just showed me this incredible kindness. They recognized that I also was an outcast. They said, "Would you sit with us?" And I sat with them and I was like, "I don't mean to be rude. I hope this isn't offensive, but what the hell is this all about?" And they said, "Oh, we dress up like this. We go to see this movie every weekend, and we dress up like the characters, and we sing the songs." And I was like, "You go to the same movie every weekend?" They're like, "Yeah, we throw toast at the screen. It's hilarious." And the very next week, they took me. And what it taught me was that having been told for years that I wasn't good enough, that I was defective, that I was broken, that I was a freak, that I was a weirdo, that I deserved to be beaten, that I deserved to die, that I deserved to kill myself. What I realized at that moment, that there was other people outside of my town who also loved horror and science fiction and cross-dressing and stuff like that. And what I realized was that there was never anything wrong with me. There was something wrong with every fucking stupid, ignorant person in that town. So that lyric in that song, "Let's wear black, let's blast The Cure and Susie, and then we'll go see the Rocky Horror Picture Show." And this is where I get emotional, because I ran away from home after that. So when I say, "and then we'll forget to go home," I literally never went home again. So I just left. I left. For the better. But since we're doing a little behind the music tour of the songs, I'm gonna play you this song next, because this song is what happens when people like that recognize that you could use a friend. This is called "Riding a Black Unicorn." Darkness falls over the land, enslaves with a wave of its hand, and I try to see the light through the disease. I try to get up on my feet. Been so long, shackled down on my knees, for somewhere deep inside I know that fate favors the bold. So tonight I'm riding a black unicorn down the side of an erupting volcano, and I drink from a chalice filled with the laughter of small children. Darkness is drowning your soul and makes you feel alone in the cold. Finds me and grab a hold. This chalice, it overflows. So tonight you're riding your black unicorn down the side of an erupting volcano, and you drink from a chalice filled with the laughter of an erupting volcano. And we drink, drink, drink from a chalice filled with the laughter of small children and the blood and tears of our enemies. And with that kindness shown to me by strangers, I found the strength to run away from home. And I went to New York City, which Batman calls Gotham City. And I started a completely new life where I was raised by bats. In this steeple made of chrome, above a city of steel, I've chosen bats over people, 'cause I never did like the way humans made me feel. So we sleep all day and we rise at night, and we spread our wings and take it to the skies. And if people all stop and stare, they say, why you gotta be like that? I just look them in the eye and tell them I was raised by bats. When I was young, I was feeble, and it stung when they pushed me down. I was so hated by these people that I knew I had to do what I could to get out of that town. So I ran away to this sacred place and was taken in by creatures of the night. That's you! And when the people all stop and stare, they say, why you gotta dress like that? I just look them in the eye and tell them, fuck you, I'm a cosplayer! And I was raised by bats. When the people all stop and stare, they say, why you gotta be like that? I just look them in the eye and tell them I was raised by bats. Those dark days seem far away. I've risen to a better place. So do like me, follow the dream like that. Just throw your old life away and get raised by bats. Rise at night and we spread our wings and take it to the skies. We do it all our way, live our lives like that, 'cause there's no one here to fill our heads with lies like in New Jersey. And when the people all stop and stare, they say, why you gotta be like that? When the people all stop and stare, they say, why you gotta dress like that? When the people all stop and stare, they say, why you gotta be like that? I bite them in the thigh, I kick them in their ass when the sun don't shine. I look them in the eye and tell them I was raised by bats. Just look them in the eye and tell them I was raised by bats. I was raised by bats. I was raised by bats. So much. On the album Raised by that song, Ray Toro from My Chemical Romance plays the guitar on the recorded version of that song. I had this really funny experience with him, because this happens with all my songs. Like, my songs are stories, and I tried to communicate to like the artist playing on my records like what I envision, but I think in like really visual terms, and I'll never forget, I was like sitting in a studio in Los Angeles with Ray Toro, and I was like, okay, so when I go like, what's happening there is the song is over, and all of the bats are leaving the steeple. The steeple being the tower of the Creisler building in New York. And then like there's two little bats that are left, and they're looking around and they don't know where all of the other bats went. And they're just looking at each other and they're really nervously, and then they're like, and then they see the brood. Shit. I can't remember what it is now. Anyway, I find the resolving chord, and I'm telling him this story and he's looking at me like this. Which is exactly the look I've gotten from all of the Bowie people. When I'm like, okay, so in this part, like, you're an orc. Do you know what an orc is? Hey, Mike. Sterling Campbell was looking at me like, I don't know what an orc is, dude. I was like, well, it's giant and it's green, and you're playing the drums, and you're playing right now because you're an orc. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you with this one last song. Let's check the time. I want to see how well I hit. Okay, no, we have exactly time for one last song. And then this is it. Like I don't know. Freebird, really, Freebird? How unoriginal. When the devil is too busy. And that's a bit too much. They call on me by name, you see, for my special touch. To the gentlemen, I'm misfortune. To the ladies, I'm surprise. But call me by any name, anyway, it's all the same. Raise your hand if you have never been to one of my shows before. Virgins. Raise your hands if you have been to one of my shows. The great majority of you know what's about to happen. This is a part where I assemble a little something called the Beelzebub Philharmonic Choir. And I'd like to dedicate this song, When You're Evil, to an old friend of mine. Well, we met last year. His name's COVID. Fucked everything up for everybody. Evil piece of shit virus. Still affecting us to this date. And may I say how happy I am that we got vaccinated and came out and had some fun. So thank you for coming out tonight, but in the spirit of social distancing, I say to the crowd all mashed up together in the audience, I think I will pick a lucky number for how many people can be in the Beelzebub Philharmonic Choir tonight. And that number is 1. I'm kidding, 13. 13. So, we're going to start with Sean. So now, I must tell you, in order to come up here, you must enter via that little door there. You cannot hop up onto the stage. I think the door might be locked. I might have to open it. Hold on a second. Say this is not in my job description. I'm not even sure I know how to open that gate. No, wait, don't come rush into the gate unless you've been called. Sean, come on up. That way, that way. And then you sir, get in the chair. That's right, you, with your hand up. That's the one, you. The pretty lady with the glasses. And this young lady right here. I stopped counting already, hold on. Now everybody just take one step back, and we're gonna spread everybody out so that we all, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I lost track, so give me 1 second because I got to figure out how many people I've already selected. I'm bad at math. 1, 2, 3. You guys live in the same house? All right, cool. Be as close as you want. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5. Now, if you have your hand up, you better fucking know the lyrics of this song. Because you are going to see me throw one giant fucking gay-ass fit if, like, I will freak the fuck out if you're like, no, cheese and crackers. Who's got a hand up way back there? With the red hair, come on down. You, come on up. You know, well, okay, you too. So the red head and also you, yes. Okay. Oh, God damn it! Come on. All right, now I got to do counting again. Shit, I'm so bad at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What'd you say your name was? Did you say Denny? Come on up. And you with the fishnet arms. I think that's what that is. I'm kind of blind. You know the lyrics to the song? Hell yeah! I should point out that anybody who spills my drink is instantly fired. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13! Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the post-pandemic Hills of a Philharmonic Choir! I'm the fly in your suit, I'm the pebble in your shoe, I'm the pea beneath your bed, I'm a bump on every head, I'm the peel on which you slip, I'm a pin in every head, I'm the thorn in your side, makes you wriggle and ride. Why? I'm evil. The devil tips his hat to me. I'm evil, I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need. While there's children to make sad, while there's candy to be had, while there's pockets left to pick, while there's grannies left to trip down the stairs, I'll be there. I'll be waiting round the corner. It's a game, I'm glad I'm in it, 'cause there's one born every minute. Why? It's so easy when you're evil. I'm evil, apparently. The devil tips his hat to me. I'm evil, I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pain I'll ever need. Here's a Philharmonic Choir. Take it away. They've unwittingly sold their souls to Satan on stage. I'm the feeling keeps you awake. I'm the shadows on the wall. I'm the monsters they become. I'm the nightmare in your skull. I'm the dagger in your back, an extra turn upon the rack. I'm the quivering of your heart, a stabbing pain, a sudden start. Why? I'm evil. The devil tips his hat to me. I'm evil, I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need. And I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need. I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need. It gets so lonely being evil, says the man with 13 of the prettiest people in Seattle standing directly behind him. What I do to see a smile, even for a little while, and no one loves you when you're evil. I'm lying through my teeth. Your tears are all the company I need. so very, very much. Beelzebub Philharmonic Choir, take a bow. Thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for being the most incredible audience for the very first show of what is going to be every weekend of the rest of the year touring. Hopefully. Thank you. Thank you for so gently breaking me in. I'm going to spend the rest of my night up there. Come say hello. Let's take a picture. DJ Mc... Oh my God. Mick... It's not McNuggets. Got it. I'm sorry, I get so caught up. I wrote it down to make sure I didn't fuck it up. This is sober Voltaire. This... Mechanismus! I mean, we're just known as Ollie, but DJ Mechanismus, take it away!